Hello and welcome to ExegeTV, the show that helps you move from exegesis to application. I'm Michael Halcomb. In this episode of ExegeTV, I want to talk for a few moments about the importance of how you image or imagine the Bible. To put it differently, when you think of the Bible, what image comes to mind or stays in mind or perhaps has been ingrained in your mind? For instance, when I say the word Bible, do you think of the exact Bible you use, the book you carry to church, the Bible you read when you study? Is that what comes to mind? Or do you think, when I say the word Bible, of a text that is a sacred book where if you stepped on it, for instance, you'd be doing something wrong, you'd be sinning? Do you see or image the Bible as a book that is written by God or spoken by God? Is it a book full of stories or narratives to you? I don't know. You may have many images of the Bible, but probably you have one that is dominant. Most people do. And I think it's important to have a healthy image of the Bible. On my website, I've also written about the importance of having a healthy image of prayer. The same thing applies here. For me, I've moved through a number of different images of the Bible. I started kind of with this divine object image, and from there I moved to an image of a book containing lots of different types of special literature. And now I have an image of the Bible as a conversation. That's my main image, my dominant image right now. And I like this image for a number of reasons. Firstly, it prevents us from seeing the Bible as static. In other words, it allows us to see the Bible as not stuck back in time, not something like that. Secondly, as a conversation, it reminds me that indeed there are many different writers who penned many different types of texts. Sometimes the things one writer said aligned quite well with another writer, and at other times there was some tension that existed. That's because they were trying to, in a way, discuss things. For example, the prophets often have different ideas or concepts about things than other biblical writers do. Thirdly, when I image the Bible of a conversation, it suggests to me that I can enter into that conversation, which also means in a way that the text is still living, the text is still relevant. It's conversant with us. We can be conversant with this. It also means that there's a two-way convo, right? There's critique and challenge, and affirmation that can come from both sides. Fourthly, the Bible as a conversation can be highly relevant in our world where people are growing less and less tolerant of one another. If we see the Bible not as a type of gavel, but rather as a conversation partner, we may be able to just include it in our discussions. Fifth, I think seeing the Bible or imaging the Bible as a conversation reminds me that the texts of the Bible were formed for the most part in religious communities or among religious groups, not just by one person, etc. In other words, it was given birth through conversation in community. Sixth, seeing the Bible as a conversation also suggests in more ways than one that God still speaks today, and that it's not just some book that speaks for God, right? Seventh, seeing the Bible as a conversation reminds us that contextual study is a necessity. We must do our best to get as much of the context of the story or stories as possible. Eighth, viewing the Bible as a conversation informs my view of inspiration in that it suggests that God worked through his communities as they formed the texts. Now, I'm sure I could say a lot more about this image of conversation that I have regarding the Bible. If you want to adopt that image and some of these concepts, then feel free to do that. If you have an image of your own, then I would challenge you and ask you to just go ahead and try to develop it, kind of like I just did here. The point I'm trying to make here is that when you have an image of the Bible, it will begin to help you formulate your thoughts regarding the Bible and thus help you better understand and make sense of it. So I challenge you and I ask you to develop and formulate an image of the Bible, a healthy image of the Bible, uh, that will enable you to better understand the Bible, at least begin to help you better understand it. So I hope that helps. If you want to have a conversation about this, feel free to either email me or to check out my blog and we can converse there. Again, hope this helps.